For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome, everybody, to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are coming back at you with another podcast with another amazing band. This time, we are talking to the band Kody, all the way from Sydney, Australia. How's it going today, guys?
Great. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure. I'm so happy you guys could find time. I've heard so many good things about y'all. So many different bands have dropped your name and said we had to get you guys on the podcast. So once I'd been told a few different times, it's like, all right, let's get these guys on and see what's going on out there. So
awesome.
But first thing I want to talk about, has the coronavirus hit you guys, or how bad is the epidemic out in Australia? Because they just canceled South by Southwest out here, which is what's up?
We were just gonna say, it's funny. You actually mentioned we were literally just talking about this before we came.
We have a paper crisis.
We got a bigger problem than coronavirus. So then we can.
Yeah, I think what Kwang's alluding to there is that there's a toilet paper shortage issue here in Australia, and people are just going crazy, picking up as much toilet paper as they can. And there's been some, these viral videos on the internet now with people fighting and police being called and the trucks burned out and stuff like that. So it's just gone mad over here. People thinking they're going to run out of toilet paper.
Yeah. Now that you say that, there's a musician that I was talking with that's out in Sydney, or that lives out in Sydney, and she was making I guess it was supposed to be a joke that at her show she was going to start selling toilet paper.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, we've got an eBay store now. So we'll give you the link after the show.
Merchandise.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
With our brand.
But no, the reason I brought it up is because they canceled South by Southwest today, and it's like, I kind of had a feeling it was going to happen because day by day it was like all the big brands, so like Apple, Amazon, like all the big brands that go to that thing, they had started slowly pulling out, and it's like, well, the only thing that can happen next is that they cancel South by Southwest, and that's what happened.
Yeah. All joking aside, though, it is a serious issue, and I suppose we were actually talking about it, saying that, I think that the real panic is how easy, how contagious it is, and how easy it can be transferred, especially for older people or really younger kids and stuff like that. So I suppose if everybody's doing their part to try and control it, then hopefully, it goes away soon enough. But I can understand the concern around some of these big events, like massive stadium gigs and football matches, all events like that, where it could actually be easily transferred. Yeah. So hopefully, I'll be honest, I don't read the news too much. I usually spend my time more just making music and kind of not ignoring what's going on around, but in a lot of times there's so much kind of like negative stuff on the radio and on the news and stuff like that. It does affect people a lot, but so for me, I try and focus on certain things and what have you, but it is a serious issue, and hopefully they get it sorted short.
Yeah. And from what I've seen is, as long as you treat it like the common cold and actually get it treated and not just kind of ignore the symptoms, everything seems to be all right. But it's when you don't ignore it, or you're just not the healthiest person in the world, that's when it becomes a real issue.
Yeah.
It's more about the immune system, I reckon.
Yeah. But I just wanted to jump on that because it was very timely, and with South by Southwest getting canceled, I was like, oh, let's talk about that. But so let's have you guys introduce yourselves. Who are you, and what do you play in the band?
I guess I'll go first. So I'm the frontman, lead singer and guitarist.
Yeah, I'm Nazo. I'm the lead guitarist for the band.
I'm Lucas, the drummer.
I'm quite the bassist.
And how long have y'all been playing together?
I think I'll answer that.
Yeah.
I'd say about a year and a half, the whole band has been properly playing together. Myself and Lucas, we were the first members to get together, and then Nazo followed shortly after that, within a few weeks, I think, and then Kwang maybe a few months after that.
And are y'all born and raised in Sydney, or did y'all come from other places?
No, we're from all over. We're from all over the world. So from my accent, you might realize that I'm Irish. So I grew up in Dublin, and then I came to Australia a number of years ago. I'm actually an Australian citizen now as well. So I suppose I'm Irish Australian. And then Lucas, yeah.
I'm Brazilian myself. I came to Australia like 4 years ago. Still not a citizen, so like I'm just a Brazilian guy in Australia. Sorry, bro.
I'm Armenian, but born in Syria. I came 3.5 years ago as a refugee, and soon I'm gonna be Australian. Sorry, Lucas. Yeah,
I'm ahead of you.
Yeah.
Right, I'm Vietnamese. Came to Australia for like 7 years ago, but luckily I got citizenship already. So,
Awesome.
Lucas.
Yeah, so I'm the only one. Yeah.
I suppose, Tom, like, yeah, it's funny. It's a kind of a bit of a weird combination to have all us together. But as musicians, individual musicians, we just found that actually works extremely well for us. And we just have a chemistry when we're playing, when we're rehearsing, when we're actually writing together. That I've never felt it that way with any other band or anything I've ever had to do with music. I just find that, I don't know if the guys agree, but
I guess everyone brings something completely different to the band, just for the fact that we are all from different countries, from different cultures, and even with the production of the music, the songwriting, everything, like I think that has very big effect that making, I guess, different music than usual what we hear from the radio. I think that has a lot of influence on us.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's what Nazo was saying there. Like it does come out in our music. Like we find that we're not writing like what we hear, and I don't think we want to. We just want to keep on focusing on what we're doing, and making the songs as good as they can be, and making the experience for the listener as good as we can make it ourselves. It's like the only people we're in competition with is ourselves.
Yeah, true, very true.
And then this will kind of be an individual question, so however you guys want to start and work your way around the band. What got you started in music?
Got me first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Playing. Right. I'm studying sound engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time that I got bored. I'm doing show. I'm seeing my friend playing on the stage, and I feel like, wow, I want to be there. I want to be experienced. I want to be on stage and want to be performed because I'm capable of doing that. So I'm just contact Darren on the flyer in the school when Nazo started. We have a conversation, and I came to Darren's house, and we had a chat, and I'm in the band.
Yeah.
Basically that.
I'll just elaborate on that. When Kwang came to see me at my house in Bondi in Sydney, and an apartment in Sydney, and I can't afford a house yet. We're not a successful musician yet. But he came to see me from a flyer, and we did a rehearsal as an audition to join the band. And I think we were 5 or 10 minutes into the audition, and without even the rest of the band actually knowing, I just said, "Welcome to the band," you know. But we all agreed, like there was no doubt he was the right fit for the band at the time, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, yeah, I'll go next. So the question was, how did we get into music, or how did we get into the band?
How did we get into music in general?
Into music at all.
Oh.
So I started actually playing guitar when I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, mom, and my grandparents, like a lot of people in my family play an instrument, guitar, piano, or whatever. So I've always been into the music scene, not actually the same as in the industry, but like in the music in general. So I've always wanted to play something. Started as guitar when I was 5 or 6, and started playing drums on a video game, believe it or not. And I just fell in love with it. I didn't even know I was playing, because I was just playing a video game and having fun. But after a few years of being good at the game, I realized I was actually good at the real thing, and I just had a lot of fun with drums. And I think I just thought that was the way I wanted to go with. And yeah, and then, well, band wise, we just met through Gumtree, me and Darren, and it became what it is today. Like, yeah, Gumtree, if you don't know, is just a website that you sell and buy stuff in here.
Okay,
you meet.
so it's like what Craigslist is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
you're right. Yeah. And I suppose me, so I started writing lyrics and trying to write songs when I was a kid. And then I realized that, you know, when I was showing my parents the stuff that I was writing, they were like, "Oh, it's great and everything, but where's the music in that?" So at the time, I come from not a very rich family, but my sister ended up loaning me the money to buy a guitar. So she bought me my first guitar. So thank you, Liz, if you're going to be listening to this. Thank you very much. Yeah, after the guitar, then, you know, I started, you know, penning lyrics, writing stories, you know, about my life, kind of what I related to as I was growing up. So when I was younger, I was writing more songs that were more kiddish, more like, you know, things about everyday life as a kid. As I grew older and what have you, and went through experiences in life, what the songs are about now are more serious issues in the world, more serious issues that, you know, things that I've gone through and what have you. So I became a songwriter and a musician. I was in a band in Dublin years ago, and, you know, kind of things got a little bit serious and we ended up breaking up. And when I mean serious, it's just, you know, the kind of daily grind of all the gigs and stuff like that. And it kind of was just a bit too much as a kid, I think, at the time. And the fun kind of went out of it. Whereas then roll on a few years later, I decided, when I decided to move to Sydney, you know what, I wanted to start a band and get back into music and actually start writing again properly, and then put the feelers out there to find other like-minded musicians. Met Lucas, and then obviously the rest is history with the band. Then, you know, in a way. So, but yeah, that's me.
Yes, I was shredding on the guitar when I was 1 year old. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, he's an actor.
I
believe that.
I was believe that. I was like, wow. Never told us.
Have you got any videos?
Yeah. So no, I actually started really late to play guitar. Ironically, my dad is a full-time guitarist as well, so we always had a guitar at home, you know, like from day one. So I always had that passion, I guess, to music and guitar specifically. But yeah, I started around like when I was 15, 16 years old, I guess, to get into it more and start learning, asking my father questions and, you know, like, how do you do this, how do you do that? But I guess the most like significant time that I realized that I actually want to do this rest of my life was in April 11, 2014. Yeah, it was obviously I was living in Syria, and there was war over there still going on. But yeah, the only time we experienced really bad time was that day. I remember the day very well because one day before my birthday, So so the bomb came next to the building. I'm sorry if I'm making this very negative now, but no, trust me, it's really good story. So the next building came the bomb, and so the living room got damaged a little bit. Luckily, all my family was inside in the room. So because we live in the level 5, the highest point of the building, we went down to the level 3, so in the building, so in case another bomb came, so we'd be safer than the highest level, I guess. So anyway, we went down, everyone like barefoot, and just my mom was like, go upstairs, get us the suitcase. We had the suitcase ready with passport and some money in it, some gold and all the important stuff. Get that suitcase, get slippers to your sister, and just come back quickly. Just be careful, crawl and all that. I was like, okay, yeah. I went upstairs panicking. The first thing I took is obviously my sister's slippers, and then the second thing I took is the guitar that first time I used in my life. It's the first guitar that my dad had as well. And then I got the suitcase. Anyway, I went down, and my mom was like, why are you getting that guitar, you stupid? And my mom never supported me. Obviously, my dad's full-time musician. Mm-hmm. You could imagine. He wasn't rich. But anyway, the point of that story, I realized then that how important is guitar and music for me. Like after family, obviously with my sister slippers, is the music was more important for me than anything else. At that point I was like, if I go anywhere from this country, I'm gonna get into music full time, and I'm gonna do that for living. I don't want to do anything else in my life, and that's what I'm doing now. Believe it or not, I'm studying audio engineering at Australian Institute of Music and music production, and I actually make my living from live sound, music production, mixing, mastering, everything music related. And the most important thing for me is the band now, obviously. And so work out well. Sorry, that was a bit long, but I said it's a good time to mention that story.
No, it was absolutely perfect. And actually, Nazo, what is the independent music scene like in Syria? Is there much of a scene, or is it just?
No, it's really bad, to be honest. My dad was a full-time musician, but he wasn't doing something he liked. So it's just a traditional Armenian music in Armenian weddings. But there was obviously a lot of gigs there for him. That's why he was full-time musician. But like you didn't have choices like here in Australia and obviously in America. You didn't have record labels. You didn't have anything. You basically were just playing in weddings and events, and that was the maximum you could get, to be honest, in Syria. So Australia is much, even though everyone says like Australia is not the best country for music and the music industry, but compared to where I'm from, I'm very lucky here.
Yeah. I mean, from everything that I've seen, and this is just an outsider looking in, the Australian music scene seems really supportive. Like I've interviewed 5 or 6 Australian musicians, and they all seem very supportive, and they seem to have a very strong fan base. So even if it doesn't seem like it's good right now, I have a feeling that it's just a growing scene, and you guys got nothing but positive things on the horizon.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yep. It's like we've met some amazing bands. Like you had Dirty Spells on the podcast there recently as well. So we were actually privileged to support them as well at a gig. So and we've met so many different artists. Actually, you had Danny Young as well. Yep. She's a country artist. I know our brother actually. He's a director. Like a movie director. But it's like, honest to God, we've been out and though we haven't gigged as much as we'd like to gig, because it is hard to get, gigs in venues over here. And some venues, they want down payments, they want guaranteed amount of people, etc. So you actually have to pay to play places as well. But if you can muddle together a few bands, that makes the risk a little less. But other than that, I mean, the amount of musicians that we've met here, like it is thriving in the artists, like the quality of the artists. We just wish there was that, more venues that were able to accept original music rather than doing covers and that.
Yeah, or could like not ask for a pay to play type situation, because that's like our rule number one when we talk to musicians is we tell them not to do the pay to play stuff, but sometimes it's all they have, so what are they going to do?
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that. I think that's a great initiative, but the thing is, it's trying to get everybody on the same page so that venue owners turn that around a little bit, and if you want to play the good venues, the ones where you have an actual sound engineer. I mean, we play gigs where we're our own sound engineer. Like, there's no sound engineer, and there's just basically us, and we're trying to control everything ourselves. Or we play with some venues where we will get a sound engineer, but then we have to obviously pay for that person, or try and bring enough people so that you don't end up paying for them.
Oh wow! Hey, are you ever in a situation where you have to bring your own like PA and sound equipment, or is that usually pretty covered by the venue?
Yeah, usually it is covered from most of the venue, but they're not good at all. Like, we always have issues with the sound system or sound guy, sound engineers. Like, we always have issues with them. Like in the band, me and Quank, we do that for a living as well, live sound, and we don't understand why we always have issues with them. Not as an argument or something. It's just like, the sound doesn't work. So whenever we get like very important gigs, like we had one like couple actually in Annandale Hotel. Is a very important live venue in Sydney. We get our live sound engineer, Sarkis. So he brings everything with him, and I work for him a lot during the weekends. So yeah, he's really helpful, and he knows the band very well. So yeah.
Yeah, I think what Nazo's saying there as well is that, like, because we were struggling so much with trying to get our own sound, because we're obviously having two sound engineers in the band, we kind of know what we want, but we find it hard for I suppose the sound engineers to actually do the things that we actually want to get the sounds out of the band and how we want to do it. So we ended up actually getting our own sound engineer, who is Sarkis, and he's been great, and he comes along, he knows us, he knows what we want, he's so easy to deal with. He's now doing like even bits of production for us as well, during the live shows, making the live shows so much better.
Yeah, that's very true. What's the other thing I will say about the music community is, especially when you guys started having all the brush fires out there, and I saw all the musical benefit concerts, I guess is what you want to call them, to go for like relief for all that. That was another thing that was like, okay, that's one thing that community has going for it, that you guys have going for you, is that the community comes together. There was saw at least 3 or 4 concerts just for the brush fire in relief of that.
Yeah, like I think when something bad happens, is as hard as it is to see different things like this happen in the world, but it brings so many people together, and music is an amazing platform for people to actually support each other and actually show support for these these terrible events that actually happen. But when you actually see how a community comes together and how strong they are after it, it's pretty amazing. And I think when I see the music, and we'd love to be part of some of the events and stuff like that. I suppose we're not a well-known band, so we can't really make a difference, though we'd like to. I mean, if we were asked to do anything, we'd do it. I mean, we do this for free all the time anyway. But if we had any power to raise some money, and that we'd certainly be a part of it. But it's amazing to see some of the artists and giving up their time to actually raise that money and awareness and in support of like people like the firefighters who actually do this voluntary. Like, I have a friend of mine who does it voluntary, and they're out there risking their lives, doing this for nothing other than just to help each other. And that is very rare these days. You know, you don't see that kind of goodwill gesture from one person to another as much as we should see.
Yeah, you're very right. Yeah, that's very true. Where are you guys at writing wise right now? Are you working on an album, recording, or are you getting ready to release something? Where are you guys at right now?
I'm answering all the questions here. It's like the guys are just not.
Yeah, you have the best English.
Oh yeah, man, it's that excuse. Okay, so where are we at the moment? I suppose we spent a lot of time perfecting our live set over the last few months, so we're quite happy. I mean, we have like 15, 17 songs set list now that we play live, and we started to decide on which songs to start recording and that. So we've so much material now, songwriting wise. Like I do a lot of songwriting, and Nazo does some songwriting as well, and we collaborate all together in the rehearsal space, and basically we're churning out these songs all the time. It nearly seems too easy, and touch wood that keeps up. But like we've got so many songs now. We probably have like probably 20 songs that we could go into the studio and record that we actually think are quite good, and we definitely would like to see how they would come out produced. But at the moment we're just trying to find the time. And obviously, because this takes a little bit of money as well to record, that's why we're trying to set up our own kind of recording spaces at home and trying to do as much as we can at home. But yeah, so we're actually recording 3 songs at the moment. One's called War, which is it's kind of a rock ballad, and it is about war. And basically, I suppose the kind of the thing that happens after people are involved with war and what have you, when they realise that it was never actually worth it in the first place, and that's a heavy hitting kind of rock ballad. There's another song called Run, which is actually about the Paris attacks in 2015, November 2015, and it was quite it's quite a special song for me. And I suppose we're trying to record it the past year. We're just like we're just never really 100. Yeah, it's a tough one to record because we're never really 100% happy with certain parts of it, and that's partially my fault as well. In that I've always heard it a certain way in my head.
It's completely his fault.
But in saying that, like, I think we are probably 90% there now. We've actually just about fully recorded the whole thing. Now it's all about Nazo's magic with the mixing, and then we'll hopefully get it mastered. And I think I feel with this song Run that we really want to do the people the justice that, like, who were, you know, the terrible event that did happen in Paris. That I feel that, like, if I want it to sound the way I feel in my heart is gonna, you know, do them people proud if they ever do hear the song and what have you, because the song is about hope. It's about there can be terrible things that happen, you know, around the world and what have you, but it's that glimmer of hope that, you know, afterwards, like, we keep going, you know, and we keep we don't stop, you know, don't stop caring for us, because in the chorus there's the actual chorus is where there's life, there's hope. And I always believe that if there's that just glimmer of life or glimmer of light or whatever way you want to put it, that there is hope for someone or hope for something, you know, kind of way to be better in the future. So there's that song as well. And I think what's the next one?
Demons.
Demons is the next one. So and Demons is what is it? It's like Led Zeppelin, like it's Van Halen kind of. It's got that kind of sound. Nazo.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Demons is as you said. I think Led Zeppelin meeting Van Halen kind of song. Yeah, it's very, very classic rock feeling, but it has something different than really all the release song of it. Not obviously very influenced from. Personally, I'm very classic rock is my probably favorite genre, And yeah, it's really classic, I guess, Demons. And yeah, it's one of my favorite songs that we do. That, and plus we also have already released a song on Spotify, which is Lonely Bones.
Mm-hmm.
It's fully recorded in a not fully, so partly recorded in AIM Studios, where I study. Also, some of the things we recorded at my home studio as well. Was mixed by us, and then mastered as well in a professional mastering studios. Yeah, and we also have Devil, the song, and again released on Spotify, and Lost. We also have Lost, and and we also have the 3 live tracks as well on Spotify. And so just find it, like recording it live and mixing it was very easy for us, as we have 2 engineers in the band. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so we're actually liking doing that, and we also have a music video on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we have so Lonely Bones actually just got it was a semi-finalist in the ISC 2019 as well. Yeah. And the music video is actually online. It's got like over 30,000 views, which is awesome for us, because like nobody really knows who we are. So it's really good to have that there. And we did the video at totally low budget, like 0 budget, because we went for a grant in Australia. We were looking at different grants to try and raise some money to do a music video, and we realized that it was actually, we were never actually going to be able to raise the money. We didn't qualify for the grants, or weren't able to get them. So we took like a couple of $100 budget, and we hired an artist to draw the already existing storyboard that I put together. And literally that's the music video. Just over 5 or 6 hours, we recorded an artist actually drawing the whole story of Lonely Bones. And recorded it, and then slowed it down, sped it up, and kind of zoomed in and out and what have you, and made a 3.5 or 4 minute music video, which actually turned out not too bad at all.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. We'll get to the international songwriting competition. You just brought it up. That's what you were referring to, the international?
Yes, yeah. The international songwriting competition. That was the we got qualified for the semi-finalists for the music video category. Okay.
We'll get to that here in a second, but there's one question I want to ask while we're on the topic of recording. Since we have 2 audio engineers in the band, I feel like this is a very appropriate question. What's one thing younger musicians need to know before they step into a recording studio for the first time?
What do you guys have to say?
You guys have the floor.
Yeah.
I'll say first.
Yeah, go on.
We're on rehearsal before hitting recording studio.
Yeah, Quang.
Yeah. Please take your advice.
That's very important. Yeah, especially the studio prices are not cheap in Australia, and I assume it's the same in America. Like when you get artists, they obviously when we're doing at unis, it's kind of free. It's okay, but in the real world, if you go to real world class studios, you don't have any room for mistakes. You don't have anything. So I reckon practice is the most important before you go to the studio, I guess. And it's a bit, as an artist and sound engineer, I feel like it's now much easier than before for an artist to record itself at demos and all, decent quality recordings at home even. It's not very hard to do that. And doing that, learning all that stuff. So having a DAW, which is a digital workstation, the softwares that we use nowadays instead of tape machines, it's really helpful for every artist. It's very cheap. You could buy, and experimenting on that DAW, recording yourself, putting yourself in that atmosphere. I think it's very, very, very helpful before you go to studio, because studio recording is not the same as live performance.
Nice.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's it.
Come on, Kwang, you gotta have something. He's trying to get out of it now. No, come on, say something.
Practice. That's the most important.
That's the most important. I said.
That's very true.
Now to say everything I want to say.
As engineers, we get a lot of studio sessions booked, and we go there and they try to figure out the key, or they try to figure out the solo. You can't figure out anything, during
the mistake with the recording studio and the rehearsal room. So basically
yes,
recording studio is not the rehearsal room for musicians.
I think, Tom, for me, when I met the guys and we actually went into the studio for the first time, I actually went in with Nazo. It was just me and Nazo. And one thing that I did actually, because I was very, very timid, I wasn't used to playing to a click. I wasn't used to the environment at all. So I was very, very out of my comfort zone. So from my point of view, I think that the way that Nazo approached it was actually very patient with me. And he told me to, in the nicest possible way, start, listening to a click, start, practicing at home, what have you. I did that for weeks. And when we went back into the studio, I think it was
2 takes. It was 2
totally
takes.
different.
Yeah. Same with same with Ron as well. With we recorded Ron the vocals at my home studio, and Darren started singing and didn't tell him I recorded. I said, just let's do a test, and obviously I have press recording, and that's an old trick every engineer uses, and that was the take. We did after that 4 or 5 different takes, and Darren was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, that's it. That's the one. That's what we want." And he was shocked. I was like, "Yeah, you don't need more. Like, I know him very well. Like, we've been recording together, writing music, producing for a while now. Yeah, it just, I guess, just second thing, it's just experience. Like, after recording 3-4 songs in a studio, I guess you'll be really good at it. As biggest example, Darren, like, just first take, practice take, basically.
And I think the more comfortable you get, and if you're well practiced, what generally happens is you have more time at the end then to experiment. So we have this thing where we record everything, and then what we do is we do whatever we want. It's our do whatever we want take. And sometimes we take something from it. Sometimes we just say, we're not going to use that, But it's about having fun and actually getting back to why we're in music. Why we got into music, because it's about the experience for ourselves as well. And sometimes you get that little bit of gold that we come up with something that we go, you know what, we're gonna keep that in the song, And that's, I think those are the good stuff,
Yeah, those are the stuff we notice more than anyone else.
Yeah. Sometimes it even comes up in live performances, like the Lonely Bones solo. That came up in the very first gig we've done, actually.
Yeah, tell that story, actually. That's it.
Yeah, so we're doing the first gig with Nazo. And we wanted to play that song. We were playing that song at this gig, and I just said, look, I'm gonna record the whole gig, right? The whole gig was like 5, 6 songs.
Yeah, it
was a big gig for us, Tom. It was a massive gig.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm just gonna record everything, right? And at that moment, Nazo just came up with that solo, like out of the blue. We're like, let's just do it. Like, this time it's gonna be your solo, right? And he's like, okay. And we recorded that. We kept that in mind. And when we went to record, he was like, oh yeah, I'll do like this and that. We're like, no, actually, like, just listen to the video, watch the video again, listen to the recording, and that thing that you've done in there was just it.
Perfect.
And that's what it is in the actual recording.
Yeah, I think if you were to actually listen to them side by side, there's very little differences. Except it seems like you just play it better.
Yeah. Well, Lucas and Darren, they do this all the time during the practice. I don't know. They always record the practices, and sometimes I don't even notice. And they're like, during the practice, I'll be just warming up or something on a song that we wrote recently or something, and then when the solo comes, I was like, okay, I actually prepared this, and no, you've done something else last time. I was like, what did I do? And obviously I had to go back and learn what I did. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this guys is really bad, man. Why they're making me do the same thing? But yeah, so they do this all the time.
It just comes out in feelings, I think, like, and the feelings are just better than the actual thing.
Very, yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah, exactly. That's well put, actually.
Nice. So let's go back to the international script writing competition. How'd you guys get involved with that?
So yeah, I think the ISC, our international songwriting competition, it's like it's held every year, and I generally take our tracks, or maybe a couple of our tracks, and we submit them into online and that to different competitions and what have you. So it's a songwriting competition that's open to everybody. I think, I mean, signed artists and what have you. So if you look at the finalist lists on the internet, which you can get them on the internet, there's signed artists there, there's unsigned and what have you. But we were lucky enough to get into the semi-final. We recently found out that we didn't get into the final, but that's absolutely fine anyway, kind of way. But we're a bit, I suppose, sad. We would like to win something. It'd be great, but I mean, just even getting into the semi-final is quite good. That it's shortlisted, and some people in the music industry are actually listening to our tracks and believing that they're worthy of it, which is quite cool.
Mm-hmm. And you said the song that you submitted, you have a music video for. Was that correct?
Yeah. So if you search "Lonely Bones" by Kody, Kody on YouTube, it'll come up there. And it's had a lot of views and that, and we've had a lot of great feedback. It's a bit of a cheap video, but it does still deliver the message that we were trying to put in the song.
We also have live videos, right?
Yeah, we've got a couple of live videos
and Glorious. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have.
Yeah. So we did some kind of, we got some snips from the gigs and stuff like that. We always record our live performances with different angles from phones and things like that, wherever we can. Mm-hmm. And then basically we just weave things together, to make some videos, because obviously we can't paint. We don't make any money from, we don't make any money from original music when we go out and play. It costs us money, if anything. But we do most of the stuff ourselves when we have time,
Nice. I will say though, when you sent me the live video of your Billie Eilish cover, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
What was it?
I did actually say, because we were corresponding over text about the interview, and then I said, oh look, we did this thing the other night. It was quite cool. And what happened was we do this the cover of Bad Guy just as a lead up to one of our songs called Anxiety, and we kind of do our own take on it, so we have fun with it. We change it into our Kody style and do it in the lead up. But the funny thing that happened about that was we played a small festival here in Sydney, and there was a producer there that actually seen us play it, and then she contacted us recently and asked us to come into the studio. So a week ago we were in the studio recording Bad Guy and Anxiety as well, like the two songs together. We're gonna hopefully we might release it. We'll see. We're gonna play around with it over the next few weeks and see how we go. So we might actually release it.
Yeah.
What was it about that song that made you want to cover it, as far as the Billie Eilish song?
Well, personally, Billie Eilish, before she became Billie Eilish, I liked her. Obviously she was already famous, but when the song came out, I think a year ago, 1.5 years ago or something. Yeah, which I just loved it, and everyone else said, I mentioned that one time in the band. And the band was like, yeah, we actually like her too. It's an amazing song, and not a lot of people cover that. We don't do covers at all, but just we said, let's try it. Why not? And when we come up with with that Kody style thing, I was like, yeah, we should do this. And obviously the Bad Guy, it was new at that time. Not a lot of bands covered.
Yeah, there's tons.
There wasn't not. Billie Eilish didn't won Grammy at that time, but we knew that straight away. As soon as that, it's amazing song. And Billie Eilish is an amazing artist, yeah, we said let's give it a go, and yeah.
And now we've got Dance Monkey as well. We do Dance Monkey as well.
Yes, we're doing Dance Monkey as well.
It's an Australian artist.
Yeah, so that's another song that it just it's really I like the idea that having not rock song at all, like has a song that has nothing to do with our genre, and making it rock and making it Kody. It just I really enjoy doing that. It's kind of songwriting as well. Like you're not writing the chord and the lyrics, but you're actually arranging everything from the start.
It does take a bit of work, eh? Like I mean, like a cover song. If we're going to do a cover, I mean, it's not as if we don't want to do. I mean, we play covers ourselves, like as in like we can play them in rehearsal and we can just do them for fun. But when we're out there promoting the band, we're doing all originals generally. But we do throw in a cover or two. But we'll only throw it in if we feel that we can do something with it. We can actually put it in our style or do something that that isn't out there if we can. And it does take a little bit of work. But I mean, we changed the beat. I mean, in those two songs alone, I think there's 3 or 4 different tempos in there. So Lucas had an interesting time when he was recording that there last week.
Yeah, it wasn't easy.
I'd imagine probably not. No, it's like the way you guys do, or the fact that you said that you only do like 1 or 2 covers in a set, and it really just depends on how the show's going. I think that's actually a really smart way to do it, because like if you get I feel like some bands or musicians catch a bad rap for doing a whole bunch of covers, because then they become like, oh, they have a couple of originals, but then they become known for like their covers. Whereas if you only do like 1 or 2 covers, even if you get known for that one cover that you get known for the Billie Eilish cover, all your other music is original. So if they want to hear more of you, they got to listen to your originals instead of the other covers that you've done,
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing, is you need to strike a balance, and you need to know when to do a cover. Like, I mean, like when we play a cover, it's hard to get people's attention when you're playing music that's just not familiar to them. It's not to say that anybody's music is bad. It's not familiar. It's not like when you play a cover and everybody, oh my God, I know this song. And they just hear it and it just triggers something and they lock into it straight away. Original artists have to do, I mean, sometimes you do have more commercial songs or what have you that will actually drag some people in a bit quicker. But the good thing is that when you do play a cover, you can grab their attention again, and they snap back into the gig, rather than talk amongst themselves and stuff like that. And when we do a cover like Bad Guy leading into Anxiety, it runs. We did that on purpose so that it basically Bad Guy, we grab everybody's attention and then we lead up into our song Anxiety, which is otherwise if it stood alone on itself, it's quite a powerful song. But it's not it's not the type of song that's extremely commercial either. But when you play Bad Guy, it's like you get people singing along to Anxiety as well afterwards, because it's a real chant. When the Anxiety chorus kicks in and what have you, and we find people actually are much more engaged when we do it that way. So I think if you position a cover well and you don't play too many, I mean, we're original artists. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put our music out there for people to listen to. We're not cover artists, but we can do covers if that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes perfect sense. It makes absolute perfect sense. Focusing on your original music, how do you guys decide what you're going to write about?
Interesting.
That's Darren should respond to that, because Darren is the lyrics guy in the band.
Okay, so I generally write from, I mean, I always think about write what you know, write about what you know, and I try to, like every song that we have has a story behind it, and I don't try to write the song. It's just the song kind of, for me, writes itself, because my kind of mentality when I'm writing a song is I visualize it like a movie, so it's kind of playing and I'm kind of just kind of narrating what's happening in terms of lyrics. So I start writing down lyrics and telling the story in the best possible way, and with the melodies and what have you, trying to deliver that kind of feeling through the song. So I guess when I'm writing the stories as such, it's just true experiences that I've had, or I read something one day that really relates to myself, saying that like artists either write about themselves or write for the people who can't write about themselves. And I think that for me, that's what interests me, like, is anything that I can write about myself, my own experiences, or else other people. And since I've met Nazo as well, like when we started getting together and we started looking at each other's type of styles and what have you as well, what I found is that like I started opening up. Like anxiety was something that like Nazo came up with, and then I wrote about anxiety because anxiety affected me, and I know it affects a lot of people out there, so it's an important issue. So and I felt in Nazo's music, I knew there was something that needed something like a powerful message in there, and that became the kind of whole story behind that song. It started with Nazo's music, and it became the story about addressing the issue of anxiety and mental health and what have you. So like, I could go on for another hour of this podcast just talking about individual stories on the songs and what have you, but I don't try and make up a story, or I don't try and think of something that will sell, or think of something that's going to be we think that other people is going to be good. When I write a song, it's just very spontaneous. It just happens. Strike a chord, put down a lyric or what have you, and then suddenly the story just starts to develop, and it's through my own experiences or people that I know, or things that are happening in the world, like the Paris attacks thing. Like that started with a lyric.
Society.
And then Society, like, yeah. So Society, we have a song called Society where, actually, believe it or not, because, Nazo's a refugee, Society is about that. It's about refugees, like coming into Australia, and though they have, let's say, freedom, what have you, we also, there's certain rules in place, so I talked about the society that refugees are in, and that came out in the song, and then the Paris attacks one run, which is like a very, very important song to me, because Eagles of Death Metal were playing in the Bataclan Theatre that night, and if Eagles of Death Metal were in Sydney, I would have been at that show. And when the terrorist attacks happened, it was the next day. I was at a cafe, and there was a paper on the I was on the table, and there was a guy reading it, and like, you could see that he was kind of like, oh, that's terrible, what's after happening. But then as soon as he, he met a colleague or a friend, and next of all just got on with life. And then it was like, the lyric came to me like, we don't ever think about it. We only read what's black and white. And that became the start of the song, and then the melody and everything kind of followed after that. And that's how, like, I always feel like that when I write, and it's not me that's writing, it's something that's just being messaged through me or something like that. I know it kind of sounds a bit kind of spiritual or something like that, but I always feel that I never try to write the song. It just kind of writes itself once it started,
Yeah, I guess to elaborate about what Dan was saying, so the whole, in my opinion, what we have so far with the songs and the lyrics wise and the meanings, it's more on the real life experiences, as Darren said, and it's more like real issues that not a lot of people talks about in the world, like it's for example the society that he mentioned now, or anxiety and all that stuff. Like it's real issues, and they're not negative songs at all. They're actually just addressing that issues in a way that people can get inspired, get hope, and they know that they're not alone on all that. So as Darren said as well, like we never write he never write the song just to sell it. Otherwise, we're gonna have a lot of love songs, and I think we don't have that.
We don't have.
I guess we should have. People are gonna think that we don't love people.
We love everybody.
Yeah.
No, we do have songs about, I suppose, love between people and what have you, and loss as well. You're not gonna like so, but Tom, lyrics are extremely important to me, and the guys know how important they are because they know that I'll never, like, I always send them something and I'll basically say, this is what I think the song's going to be called, this is what it's going to be about. And I'm probably boring you to death, but I bore these guys to death as well about the story behind the song, because it's extremely important to me that we actually write music that's going to mean something, that, you know, when a listener actually listens to it, it's going to strike their heart or strike a chord about something in their life, and they're going to relate to it, because that's the thing about music. That's the thing about original music. Yeah. You can actually connect, and when you connect with someone like that, that makes it all worthwhile, whether we make money from music or not. The fact that people will actually relate to it and actually it can help something, you know. And that's the whole meaning behind Kody, like, because Kody, the name stands for a helpful person. So it stemmed from old Irish. I don't know, I suppose not folklore, but like old Irish, like it was the heritage of it is basically Kody is Khodee, Kody, and it means a helpful person. And actually it became a big name, I think, in America as well, like in terms of the name Kody, spelled either Kody or Cody. But that's actually the meaning behind the name, and the reason why we chose that, it was because we want to help. We want to be like a helpful band to actually help other people through our music. That's what we want to do.
Nice. No, and I mean, it's great that, like, the lyrics mean so much to you, because you guys are storytellers. Musicians are storytellers, and so how do you tell stories? Through words. So it's absolutely makes perfect sense that means so much to you. And I absolutely respect the fact that you guys are shining a light on serious subjects, especially like mental health, because not enough people talk about it, and it carries a negative, especially over here in America, and I'm sure probably in Australia and where everybody else is from. Mental health carries such a negative stigma that nobody talks about it, and then it just becomes like a ticking time bomb and becomes worse and worse because nobody wants to bring it up if they're feeling anxious or just feel like they have nobody to talk to.
Yeah, I think people feel embarrassed. Like, I even felt embarrassed that, like, I get like stage fright, I get anxiety. I've had it, you know, stressful situations in you know, years ago where, you know, I developed a lot of anxiety because I worry about things. You know, I worried about what people thought. I worried about people, you know, in the job. I worried about people all around me, and it just got all too much for me. You know, and that's how, you know, when Nazo showed me that music, it kind of just something struck in me like that, remembering back and how I dealt with it and how I got through it. You know, and for me, like, I should have talked to people. I should have, but I didn't. You know, I dealt with it in different ways through meditation and trying to, you know, being supported from different people and what have you. But I find that, like, the thing is, you shouldn't be embarrassed about that kind of stuff. Like, everybody gets a bit anxious in their life. You know, everybody suffers from stress and what have you for different reasons, and there's no need to be in any way embarrassed by that. You know, you've got great people around you, I'm sure. You know, there's always avenues and people to talk to, and the fact that you're addressing this on podcasts and what have you, I'm sure there's other people out there saying these things. So there's always people to talk to, and there's always support. Even if you're alone, you're not alone. There's always something. For me, music got me through a lot, and that's the reason why, you know, the band is so important. Like, these guys are so important to me, and look, we're like a little mini family here, you know, and we're supportive of each other, you know, no matter what each person is going through. Like, you know, we understand that there's, you know, if someone's quiet or they're upset or whatever like that, there's generally things happening in the background, and we need to be mindful of that, you know, that we can just be more supportive to each other. And in saying that, Tom, as well, people do forget. Like, we're only human. We forget about these things, and, you know, things what we think are important really aren't that, you know, that much important. You know, but it's just being able to open up to other people and actually talk about it. I think it's great you're supporting that, like, through avenues and media like this. You know.
Yeah. One question I have, since you are all not native to Australia, did your families come over with you when you guys I guess, immigrated into Australia, or are some of you, what's kind of that scenario?
Yeah. So in my scenario, I came, me and my parents as well.
Okay.
And because we came as a refugee, and then my sister and my brother-in-law came as well. So my first family, basically, they're all here, yeah. And
Okay.
yeah, so we all here. I only have just grandma and uncle in Syria. Hopefully they live soon as well, so they'll all be good.
I came alone, actually. Like I came to study. Honestly, I came right after high school just to live abroad for a while and study a bit of English, and the original plan was to stay here for like 4 months but once I met the guys, I just really didn't want to go back, and so I started studying something else in here, something that's gonna take me somewhere and to stay here more for the band. So yeah, I have no family around. But I'm pretty happy with those guys. And
where are your family?
We are.
You have family always.
Nice.
But same to Lucas. I came here alone, and I got my brother already studied here, and I just came here alone, and I live with him. And I just recently moved out. So basically, me and my brothers and this Kody family.
Yeah. And for me, Tom, like I came with my girlfriend at the time, like who actually, is now my wife. Yeah, me and Kat, both Irish, came over here. There was a recession going on. It was quite stressful in Ireland at the time when I was leaving. So like, yeah, it wasn't a great place to be for work, and that there wasn't too many prospects. So Australia seemed like the right choice, and then came over here, worked for a bit, focused on the career a little bit, because I'm actually I studied to be a mechanical engineer, so that's what I do here in Sydney. I mean, yeah, like if we all work jobs here in Sydney. Like, I mean, we do music obviously as much as we can. We'd love to do it full time. Mm-hmm. So if there's any labels out there that want to sign us, that'd be awesome. But just gonna put it out there. You gotta sell yourself. Yeah, what I'd say is that like, we came, and then I just, the best place was always in music for me, and then then found the band. So that's basically what we're staying in.
Nice. And so everybody works a full-time job. Nobody's a full-time musician just yet.
Not yet. No. I mean, the guys work in music.
Most of that, almost all my jobs are in the music industry, music production, live sound. Same with Clang, I think. So Clang works in a very, very important microphone company called Rode Microphones. In Australia, it's Australian. Probably they're really good with the podcast equipment. Probably you've seen before. So. Well, both of us, we're in the music industry, but hopefully we'll be full-time performers rather than just industry performers. Yeah.
Awesome. And then, so what's your schedule looking like moving forward? Are you mainly just taking a break from doing live shows, or do you have any live shows coming up? What's kind of the schedule looking like moving forward?
Over the past couple of weeks, we took a little bit of a break because NASA was just doing his exams and that. But no, we've got one live show coming up in a couple of months, and then we're working on basically. We're pretty happy with the live production or the live sets at the moment. So we've put a lot of work into them. So we've a few different versions, different set lists, and that we want to kind of start road testing now. So. And we're going to start gigging a lot more. There's a lot of stuff we're planning at the moment. So we're really excited about. So we're going to be booking a number of venues soon enough. Like, I mean, look, we'd love to tour, but just, for an original band that's based in Sydney, and without a following, it's extremely hard to go with our places and what have you. We're trying to get around the Sydney circuit as much as we can. But in the next few months, you're going to see some big changes for us. We're going to be playing fairly regularly, possibly every week, which is going to be really exciting for us to try and grow our fan base a bit more. and also continue on with the production and these other songs that we're going to start in the next few weeks as well. So we're going to be back in the studio next week, recording even more tracks.
Yeah, recording is a big thing now. We're trying to make it faster. With all that the guy said about being able to record more in your home studios and whatnot. Drums is always something really hard to record, but we're getting our head around it, and it's just really nice to see, and I'm very excited for the new stuff that are coming. Actually, especially this Demons, which is probably the next one, and The Same, which is a fabulous song. I really, 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 really like it. But like The Same is something really strong.
We've got so many songs that we're really excited about, Tom. Like The Same is, is one of those songs that Lucas just like really latched onto straight away. Like it's, I don't know, would you say it just seems to be a really crowd pleaser out there. Like, I mean, people just really warm to the song. And I suppose that gave us a bit of incentive to say, maybe this one should be on the next list after Demons, after we finish this next kind of, I suppose, I don't know, would we call it an EP?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I was going to ask if all the recording was leading to an album or an EP, but you just kind of answered that question.
The funny thing about it is, like, I'm sure a lot of people I'm sure you've heard this a lot. Like, it's kind of a song world at the moment, Like, I still listen to the albums from start to finish. I'm just one of those type of people, But it is a kind of a song world. So I really think that, like, we might release an EP in a few months. I think it would serve us better to try and get a bigger following than we have at the moment, and then release something and do a bit of a launch of the single or the EP or wherever it may be. But there's no shortage of songs from us. Like, I mean, look, we would literally spend the next few months just recording all the songs that we have at the moment. And then we've got tons of stuff we want to just experiment with and start working with. But the main aim at the moment is to continue on with the production and the recording, and also literally get out there as much, kind of press the flesh, kind of get in front of people, because we love playing live. Like, that's the most exciting thing for us. Like, it's like putting on a performance, actually delivering the song and delivering the message to people. So I think that's really important as well. It's kind of a balance of everything.
Yeah. The one piece of advice I have for growing your fan base, and this is something that I've been trying to figure out ways to help different bands, because obviously I can't keep giving the same advice to every band, because not the same. Every band's different, so everybody needs a little bit different advice. But for you guys, what I would look into doing is, when you guys recorded the Billie Eilish cover and Anxiety, was it like formed as like a mesh up, or was it like two completely different songs? Like, you played the cover and then you went into Anxiety, and it was like two distinct.
No, I think it was designed as a kind of a, like, we originally thought about doing Bad Guy before, but then we said, like, you know what, maybe we'll take it, deconstruct it, change the key, and then actually morph it like a mashup, I suppose, into one of our songs. And that's what we were thinking. It just so happened that when we were playing it, it just felt like going into Anxiety. And then it started we kind of backtracked through the song and then changed it accordingly to kind of, I suppose, match it as well in a way. And we do, I think we do something like that. Like, it's not, we don't do the full song. We do 75-80% of Bad Guy, and then suddenly start morphing it into something that of ourselves. But it starts from start to finish. I suppose it starts more like Bad Guy and then ends up at like a Kody version of Bad Guy. And that's what we call actually Bad Anxiety. We end up calling it Bad Anxiety because literally it was like that. It was like actually just kind of, it was changing as it went,
Yeah. No, but what I would do is take the professional recording and either make a lyric video, or like, if you know somebody where you can do another music video for it, like you did for Lonely Bones, and then put it on Facebook and Instagram and put like maybe $50 into advertising it and just kind of see what that does for you. Because like Facebook and Instagram advertising, I think is the most effective way to advertise for musicians right now. And it's not overly expensive. So go ahead.
I was just going to say we did do a little bit of Facebook advertising for one of our bigger gigs that we were actually getting paid to do as well. So we actually had a little bit of a budget, and actually it served us well. Eh? They got a good few people that we didn't invite. You know, they showed up and bought T-shirts and what have you. Actually liked the band, which was good actually, and that was through the Facebook advertising.
Nice. No, yeah, it's very effective. I always tell this story when I bring up Facebook advertising. One of the first shows that Jeff, my sound engineer, and I booked as Live and Amplified, I spent $15 on Facebook advertisements to promote a show that we were doing at a coffee house. So we weren't looking for like hundreds of people. We were looking for maybe 30 people max. Like if we had 30 people in there, it would feel like the most jam-packed show that you've ever seen, just because of how small the space was. And I spent the $15 to promote it. We had that place packed for 3 hours. And it was without any local opener. We had two bands that traveled 3.5 hours to be there. And it was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it's really good to see the support and that kind of thing, you know. And the word spreads quite quickly as well. You know, once you get the advertising out there, and then get a few people, you know, saying that they're gonna go, it's like it kind of, you know, when it goes not a little bit viral, but like it's just like it gets out, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then you take something like a Billie Eilish type cover, as popular as she is right now. I think just advertising that would be perfect.
I think that's a good advice. Yeah, yeah, that's actually good. Yeah, good thing. Like we are recording. As Dan said, we are recording Billie Eilish, but we weren't thinking too seriously about it to release it yet because we have other songs. But now I think we should consider that to release first.
And I mean, it's kind of contradictory.
Or like make it faster. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like I don't like original bands getting known for a cover song, but the way it's kind of written and performed, it's not really a cover song. It's like a mashup of an original and a cover. So
no, that's true. That's very true.
It's like a total remix or something, like a DJ or something.
Yep, exactly.
Sometimes you see those songs where the remix becomes bigger than the. No, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. But you see a song that becomes big because the actual remix that it is, you know.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we've been talking a lot about what you guys are currently working on and what you've done in the past, but what's the ultimate vision for Kody, the band? Like, where do you want to take it? Where do you want to see it in 5 years? What's the ultimate vision?
I suppose I think I'll speak for everybody here that, like, look, we would like to do this for the rest of our lives. Like we'd like to be signed. Like we'd like to be signed to a big label. We'd like to be doing stadium shows. I mean, we write songs that, like, you know, we dream of these things. You know, so you know, each one of us want to do bigger and bigger shows. And yeah, I'll be a liar if I didn't say that. You know, I dream about, you know, playing a stadium and playing the songs that we're playing and keep on writing and create an amazing album, you know. But yeah, I think the goal is to be signed and be recognized as you know, a good band, a great artists. I think, you know,
make a difference.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like, I suppose when you think back of why we all got into music, you know, we all want to deliver that message, and if we can, you know, get to a platform or a stage where we can do that and we can actually make a difference and end up continuing doing this for the rest of our lives, then you know, that's what we want to do. And, you know, performing for larger, bigger audiences, like, is what we get a kick out of, you know, because there's more people in front of us. there's more people, receiving that message. And that's our dream. Our dream is to continue on the live performances to bigger and bigger audiences. And I still see some of the old legacy bands going around. They're still doing stadium tours and stuff like that. It's fantastic. Seeing the Foo Fighters, seeing Def Leppard, seeing Whitesnake still. Whitesnake just came recently to Sydney and that. So seeing all those bands, and they're still selling out massive venues. We want to be doing that, till we're 80,
Mm.
Absolutely.
AC/DC style.
Yeah, big time.
Yep. I actually, I saw them in 2009, and they were still like it. That was about 10 years, or that was 11 years ago, and Angus could still get around the stage. It's pretty amazing, And I think that
you're lucky. You're very lucky.
Yeah. Very good.
But just a bunch of old dudes rocking the stage like they're 30 years old again. It was absolutely amazing.
And that's it. I've seen even Bruce Springsteen I've seen him a good few times in Sydney, and he gets up and he rocks out with the E Street Band for 3 hours straight, and no break.
Bon Jovi was like that last year as well.
That's it. That's what it's about. It's just being a trooper and just like smashing these kind of sets out. And even though you're older, you can still see the energy there in the band. You can still see the reason why.
Yeah, the passion.
The passion is just.
They don't need money, bands like that.
They're not doing it for money anymore.
They just like it. Amazing.
Money's out of it, and the money shouldn't be. The thing is, money sometimes ruins things like music and that, because everybody searches for, I know, I can speak for everybody in the band here. We're not doing it to get rich. We're doing it because we have a passion for playing live. We have a passion for writing music, and we want people to hear the music, and we want people to hopefully relate to it. And we want to be proud of what we put out there. To a certain standard that we believe we can achieve. Yeah. And I think, as I said before, we're not in competition with anybody. We're just trying to make the songs the best they can be, for us, and then hopefully that there is an audience out there that can actually relate to it the way we relate to the songs.
True, very true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Is there a venue that you guys really want to play? Like that would be like a bucket list venue, or maybe even just like a city? What would be like the dream scenario to say, hey, we made it?
Yeah, I think we want to come to America, man.
Yeah, we
want to play. We want to come to America.
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that's probably that's the dream. Yeah, I guess.
American dreams.
Yeah, I think. Look, as well as that, Tom, as well, we have been like we're trying to still find ourselves in music at the moment. We're the sound that we're coming out with as well. I'm not saying it's not. I think America could be the place where where our music could be received well. I think as well. In a way. Yeah. I think that. Yeah, the goal is actually. We'd love to go. If we got signed, then we'd go to America tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'd go today.
We want to be. We want to go somewhere in Australia. We want to be hopefully a big band in Australia, and hopefully Australians, and we want to be. We want to come to America to be international, and it's as much as we say it's very good, the music industry in Australia or Europe and everywhere. Yes, everyone knows that if you want to get international, if you want to send your message to the whole world, you better be in LA, New York, or somewhere.
Yeah, true. And Tom as well, we're an Australian band because we were born in Australia. The band did their first gig in Australia. So we are an Australian band, even though we're all we're different nationalities, but we came together in Australia. So we see the band as we're an Australian band, and because we've been asked that question, well, where are you from? if everybody's from different places, where we're kind of from nowhere, but we're from Australia. We were born the band was born in Sydney, you know, kind of way, like, so we're a Sydney band, and we'd like to make it big in Sydney first, obviously. And then if we can grow into it nationally in Australia, we'd like to be a big band in Australia, and then, you know, it'd be great to, you know, go international and go, big in Europe or big in America. The good thing about us is we'd have 4 different homecomings. Actually 5. We'd have 5 because we got Vietnam, Brazil, Syria, and Armenia.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I've got Ireland as well. So like, and then Australia.
So you have
upcoming.
So it could be good, you know, enticing for I don't know, promoters.
That's funny. Nice. But yeah, I don't want to keep you guys too much longer because I value your time and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to sit here and chat with you.
Anytime, Tom. Anytime.
It's hard to believe that we've been going for almost an hour and a half. Like, this time just flew by. What's one thing, and you guys have done a really good job touching on this already, but just kind of as like a final bow on everything, what's one thing you want everybody that's listening and anybody that's going to be listening in the future, what do you want them to know about your band?
Wow,
that's a
tough question.
That's a grand question. What would you want people to know about our band?
Maybe just even you individually, like as artists. Maybe we can.
I think I know the guys well enough to say that, like, look, we stand for something, you know. Like, there's a lot of stuff behind the music and the reason why we do what we do, and the stuff that we write and the way we play it and how we deliver it when we perform. So there is a lot of meaning behind everything. It's not just, we're not writing songs to make them sound good. We're not writing songs to get us anywhere or anything like that. But we want to deliver a message. So I think there is a message behind Kody that if there is listeners out there and if they take the time to listen to the music and read the lyrics and, you know, and look a bit deeper, I think they'll find a lot more than meets the eye. I think, you know, I don't know, is that okay, lads?
Yeah. I agree.
And apart from that, like, for now, what we want people to see and go for is like just our website or like Facebook page, you know, like go out and like see what's out there for us. Like on Facebook, we're Band Kody. We have a nice website that takes us everywhere. That takes them everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. It's code.live, Kody.live. Yeah, and yeah, like if whoever's listening, if you're interested or if you found anything to be interesting from us, just go out and see what we have, you know, and maybe possibly when you're listening to this, we have new stuff on every single platform, and and we're contactable as well, like, you know, like, so I mean, if the songs mean something to someone, like, we always reply on our messages and that as well, like, and we try to do the best we can. We're not big social media people because we're kind of musicians. I don't think most musicians are reading social media unless they're well trained. But yeah, like, I think that people can reach out to us as well. We're just normal people trying to be, I suppose, an instrument in delivering the message. That's what the band's all about.
Very, very.
Like the name Kody, we just want to help where we can.
Nice, perfect. And then when you're not playing music, what do you guys do for when you're not playing? What are you guys doing when you're not playing music or at work?
Yeah, I want to respond for Darren. Darren, when he's not playing music, writing music. So I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'm very interested to know what Darren does.
I'm gonna go last then.
Yeah, I'm laughing at Darren, but I pretty much do the same. I make beats when I'm not doing. So yeah, I just anything like. With uni, obviously, we have a lot of assignments and things. Very busy with that stuff, and I guess I'm recently very into making electronic music. Very like I know it's very weird, but yeah, I really liking doing that. Not for any professional goal. It just it's really fun. That's my new not outside music thing, which is still music, but it's very new for me.
Nice, perfect. Anybody?
Lucas?
What I do, I do whatever I have to do in the college and whatnot, and we go out with some friends sometimes, you know. But the biggest concern that I have is always what's next for us. Like if I'm not playing, or if I'm not recording, or if I'm not doing anything, I'm thinking about doing it. Honestly, yeah. What about you, Mike?
Like what was the
everyone outside music they do music. That's why it's very tough.
It's exactly
Okay.
like when I'm not playing music, I'm mixing and recording music basically.
I got you. No, I understand. I understand completely. And it's, you know, when you're doing full-time jobs, sometimes music is what you do on the side.
Music's like your recreational activity, I suppose, because the guys are laughing at me, but yeah, I live and breathe it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I dive into it quite deep. So when we're not playing, or we're not together rehearsing, I do a lot of writing. You know what I mean? I do a lot of lyrics. I get up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning. I go for walks before work, and I write lyrics to the music that I wrote the night before. You know what I mean? So. But I do spend time with my missus, and I go on walks, and we go out for dinner, and we spend time together, and then I meet up with the guys every now and again in the band as well, and friends and stuff like that, and get out and about. I do have a little bit of a life, but I suppose when you find something, Tom, and I'm sure like in your career as well as a DJ, like and a host as well, like in what you do. Sometimes you find something. You just dive into it, and I feel that, I don't know, I have this overwhelming feeling that I was meant to, write music and deliver this message through the music. So I feel obligated for myself, and that's where I feel most at home. So I know the guys are laughing at me, but I do love it that much. It's never hard for me, and I actually enjoy it. I just live and breathe it. I love it.
Nice, perfect. That's a nice way to kind of wrap up the podcast. Like I had said, really appreciate your guys' time. Can you hit everybody again one more time with all the social media where people can find you, any future show dates, stuff of that nature?
Yeah, so our website is probably one of the main things, which is Kody.live. So just www.kody.live. Our Instagram is Kody_official, and our Facebook is facebook.com/band Kody. And yeah, thanks a million for having us. And we do have a gig coming up in Sydney. I don't know I think it's the Botany View Hotel with another great band called the Jackies. So they've asked us to play. Do we know the date on that? The date?
24? April 24? Or just someone? April 24?
We'll have to double check that.
Yeah.
Nobody's really that certain here, so we don't. But you look it up, and we'll post it everywhere as well. And look, thanks a million for having us.
Yeah,
it's really great to see what you're doing and the bands that you're getting on. I mean, the artists that you're getting on as well. Every artist, I'm sure you can see, like they all have their kind of individuality as well, their own kind of style and what have you, and their own kind of their own thing going as well, which is good. But we as a band really appreciate
thank you very much
the opportunity to get on the show with you.
Absolutely. I'm honestly, as appreciative as you guys are, I am just as appreciative, because like just being able to talk to the bands or just as many bands that I've been able to talk to, and the willingness to give me your time when you guys could be practicing or writing a new song or whatever, I know there's a bunch of different ways you guys could have spent the last 90 minutes, and I'm really appreciative that you guys gave it to me to do this interview.
No, thank you.
No
Thank you.
worries.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's a
Absolutely.
thank you from us as well.
Absolutely. But one last time, thank you guys. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We went all over the place. It was absolutely amazing. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nice.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys later.